Hey, this is Andrew Brown from the AWS Cloud Project Bootcamp. And yes, in the last video, I actually did do, you can see the video is open here, but I actually wrote all of this stuff with you, but you never saw it because apparently I recorded OBS. And do you see that little clip where I'm like walking around confused? And that's because I wasn't supposed to record that part. But anyway, what happened was, if you don't remember, because you weren't here, apparently, but what I did was I went ahead and I refactored these into modules so we could include them in here. And then I broke these all up here and I started walking through all of the code and all the examples here. And so, I mean, I think it was interesting to see that stuff, but unfortunately, I'm not going to go back and record that because it was such a headache to write all these. But what I've been doing is I've been going through these and kind of auditing it. And I generated out a list from ChatGPT. So I wrote it over here in this file here about the commands it suggested to use. But the thing was is that it had some duplicates here, like this is the duplicate of that, and some of these are not even real. So I had to go through and walk them all, and this wasn't that very useful for help. Maybe 4 would have done it, but 3 gave me stuff, but it was wrong. And ChatGPT 4 just argued with me. So both of them didn't help so much in that context. But yeah, it's just me walking through and writing tons of these files, probably like an hour and a half of me writing this stuff that you missed out on. Not a big deal though for you, but anyway, I was only going through the list that was here and then adding the ones that were missing. But I do kind of need to walk through all these and make sure I didn't make any mistakes. The other thing here is that if it's missed any services, so I was just looking at ECS. I was just thinking there's got to be more than these 2 things, because we create task definitions. So that's something that's there. So I'm going to go over here and look up ECS, which is right here. Okay, so we'll go to ECS. Also, I noticed ECR, ECS public. So we go over here, and there has to be more stuff going on here. There has to be things like, yeah, task definitions, task sets. Task sets you don't see, those get created for you automatically generally. But we'll go to task definitions because that's something that I definitely want to have here. So we have the describe, and there's probably like a list. So we'll go here. Describe clusters, describe services. We'll have ECS describe tasks. There's probably this here as one. This is all you're missing from the last one. I was just doing this like a lot. Going through here and making sure all the parameters are correct and verifying the output. It was more just to show you what you could do with Code Whisperer and ChatGPT and the limitations around it. But yeah, we have task definition. So ECS list tasks is another one. I don't know, you have to specify the cluster and family. Those might be optional, I don't know. They might not be. Okay, we have ECS list task definitions. Okay, we'll just keep going down here. But yeah, that's all that I was doing in the hour or so that you missed. Nothing super exciting. Also me yelling about copy paste not working. So I'll go back over here. List attributes, what's this? Within a specified target and cluster, when you specify a target, list attributes returns a list of attributes, objects, one of each for whatever. Okay. Examples. I mean, there could be something that's important there. I don't know. I guess we just have to list it ourselves. What's the example we have? Oh, that's a headache to write. I'm not doing that. We'll go back over to our list here. Put attributes. Sometimes there's describe. Yep, we have describe clusters, container instances. I mean, we might want to do that. I'm not sure. You'd have to be very specific. We do know the exact name of the instance, so it depends on what this is here. Yeah, I don't know about that. So it seems like this one's okay. We kind of picked up the ones I wanted in that. ECR. We have describe repositories. I'm not sure what else there is in ECR, to be honest. Seems like that's all we need for ECR. Go to ECR here. Describe images. What can we expect it from that? Just show me the output. Might show me the size. Not really concerned about that. I mean, it depends on what this returns. Like if it actually has any images in it. If it's an empty repo, that's kind of useless, right? We want to make sure that the repo actually exists. Image digest. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say here the contents of the repo, if there's even anything, so we probably would need the other one. Hmm. I'm not sure how useful this would be if we didn't have other ones. Is there any required ones? It doesn't say they're required, do they? Registry ID. No, so list them all. Maybe that's useful. Though it probably might be more useful to say for a specific one. List images. So there's that. CCR, ECS we just did. The load balancer, we just have load balancers and target groups. That's not a whole lot. It seems like there should be more in here. Like describe listeners would be good. Mm-hmm. Describe listeners, load balancer, load balancer attributes. We actually might care about the attributes because that might tell us something about the load balancer that's important. Now, I think you have to specify in this one for sure the load balancer. Maybe not. Doesn't say it's required. Interesting. Okay, we'll go back over here. Describe rules for what? That'd be for a listener, right? That probably is required. Apparently still doesn't say required. I keep thinking they're going to say required here. ELBv2, describe rules. There we go. And by the way, if anyone was wondering, I'm wearing Zubas. It's the most comfortable thing to wear. So Zubas. I usually don't stand up, so you don't see what pants I'm wearing. But like, that's not a great photo. But yeah, Zubas. I don't know. This was popular back in the 2000s or whatever, and I keep buying them. But they're only showing leggings. But I think they're popular because of the NFL. I don't watch American football, but you get T-shirts as Zubas, but not with the pattern. That's a mistake. See, now if they're gonna do this, they should make it the pattern. But I guess there's like different ones for different teams. And so I'm wearing one that's probably a team color. I have no idea which one it is. The only thing I would say that I don't like about these is that they're really thin. So I wish that they were thicker. But yeah, I don't know. I have Zubas. So we'll go here. Do we describe the target groups? We must, right? Yeah, right there. Again, tributes might matter actually for this case, just because I understand what they are. So we'll say ELBV2 describe target group attributes. Yep. Or attributes. Attributes. Is that spelled the same way? I'm not sure now. And like in English is weird like that. Sometimes you can just slightly pronounce it a bit differently. There we go. So we'll bring that to the wall here. And I hit my caps key by accident, so let's do that, fix that for a second. Okay, we'll go back over here. I mean, we need to know if there's SSL policies. I don't know what information comes back with this. I just want to know that it has the ACM attached. So this one might say like what SSL policies you want. It doesn't say whether it's attached, so that's not really what I want. Describe target groups, modify listeners, no. Yeah, so that one's pretty well covered now, so that's good. Lambda is, how's this one doing? Get function, list functions, list layers. I think I went through this one manually, but I'll check it anyway. Again, you weren't here, so you don't know. But there's things like get policy, aliases. I'm not really that interested in checking those up. Maybe at some point here. So that's fine. RDS, we literally have one. It seems like there should be more than that. RDS. There's RDS data. What's that? Okay, Aurora serverless. Okay, not what we're doing. So we'll go down here. Yeah, we have describes. Lots of describes here. Describe DB instance, DB clusters. I mean, it depends of what we're doing. We're not doing multi-Z. We're not using Aurora, so this stuff doesn't matter. I think we're doing describe DB instances. That is what we're doing. Log files, not so much. Parameter groups, we never even changed parameter. That's something we could have done, but we just never did that. We're not doing proxies. We might want to describe the security groups. That's a good idea. I don't see how that's any different from getting just the regular security groups, but there we go. It might just be redundant and just another way of getting that data in a different format. I don't know. I guess that's good if you don't want to give people access to full security groups, but you just give them access to that. So we'll do that here. Snapshots. So there's subnet groups. That's that other thing. Is it describe? Okay, so that's there now. Snapshots. We weren't taking any snapshots, but I mean, that could be something we might want to look at. going to pick that up there. Probably was more than one, maybe. That's why I didn't know what to do. Subnet groups. Describe engine default cluster parameters. No. I don't think I need to know that unless I know what the output is here. Examples. Nope, that's not very interesting. That's it there for that. It's just saying there's like list or get or things like that. Nope. So that would give us good coverage across RDS, Route 53. I think I looked this one up already, and this is all I could find for it. But let's go take a look again anyway. Route 53. We'll go over here. Yeah, we have health checks. Not interested in that. Yeah, I didn't know what CIDR blocks were. I clicked into that earlier. Still don't know what it is. List hosted zones. Do we already do that? We do. That's good. And record sets, that shows us record sets. I thought it would be like when you describe a hosted zone, you get that. Maybe you do back in another way. So that one's fine. S3 API. There's a lot of stuff in the S3 API. We can go take a look here and see if there's anything we were missing. There's also just the S3 one as well. So those have different commands. I'm not sure if we'll even take a look at those ones. I just want the list. What happened to the list here? S3 API. We'll go back over here. Yeah, tons of stuff like get bucket cores. Maybe the policy. Yeah, we should just keep going on with this one. So let's do cores. Cores is a good one. S3 API get bucket cores. There we go. These are still supposed to specify the region, even if we don't use it. And we don't. But I'm going to do that anyway. Just place that in here. Get bucket website. What does that do? Web configuration. Yep. But there'll be definitely more for CloudFront. I don't think we wrote enough for CloudFront. There's like one or two in there. There should be tons. We did policy already. I'm not worried about versioning right now. There are things like get object and stuff like that. Do we really want to go at that level and start looking at data in a bucket? No, we want to make sure the bucket's not empty, I suppose. But that's for specific objects. Yeah, you know what? I think, well, there's head object as well. Retrieves metadata from an object without retrieving the object itself. That's actually what I would like to have. This action is useful if you're only interested in the metadata. Possibly, yeah. And for this, we're looking for very specific things. So S3 API get object head. You can see how I could get pretty good at AWS commands, but you know, I don't remember them all. I just kind of know I have confidence where to look for them. So that's just something you get with time. If we actually want to get the object. This one's a little bit more complicated because we'd actually have to pull very specific files. This one would probably be special because, again, we're pulling data. We're not pulling JSON. And also, we'd probably expect it to be a certain size. You'd have to use the get head first before we proceed to download it. Object retention, get public access block. Yeah, I'd want to know, is it open? Because it shouldn't be. All right, so we'll go over here. If you have any active multi-part uploads, that could be there. We already did a list bucket, right? We can see up here, or on the left-hand side here, what we have. There's list objects. What's the difference between this and version 2? Okay. I don't exactly know what the difference between version 1 and version 2 is. It might be the outputs. We'll use version 2, I guess, for now. Until we need another version, I suppose. Did we even name that right? It probably has an underscore like this. Up here, see if there's any like describe functions. There's not. Okay, so that is a lot better than before. EC2, there could be a lot more in here. We'll come back to that in a second. DynamoDB streams, we haven't done much with this one. Oops. DynamoDB streams. Describe stream, list streams. I want the it's here on the end. Region, output JSON. It's a bit confusing how it did it that way, but we'll cut this out here and go up and paste that in here like this. Put that up like that, so it's in the proper format that we expect it to be in. This is supposed to have that there on the end, or otherwise it'll error out. I'm not sure what get records gets. Yeah, we're not looking for what record was passed. We're just looking, I mean, we could if we wanted to, but I think that'd be like records that are there, not necessarily still there. We'll go over to DynamoDB. This one's kind of like list tables, describe table. We might want to query the data. We've done these before, obviously. Not really worried about limits. And these ones are a little bit more complex because we are querying against data and you have to write a custom query. So I'm not sure about that right now. We definitely will want to do that, but how is the question in this framework of how we're doing stuff. So we'll have to come back to that. Also because it's going to be using, it's going to use that compute, so, or the, we've got to be careful how we use that. We obviously don't want to be doing scans. So there's that. We'll go to Cognito here next. So we'll go back here, check Cognito. I guess I'm not back enough, or I should have went to here, Cognito, IPD, or IDP, whatever it is. User pool client. We don't really need the client configuration, unless it was configured wrong. It's not like there's much to do in that one, the client ID. So I'm not really worried about it. These are all admin levels. I'm not sure if these are the ones we want, because I'm just saying that like list users, list stuff like that. We have list groups. I'm more interested in like listing the user pools or listing users. So we'll go here, def cognito, list user pools. That's right. Are these deployed in regions? AWS Cognito. Yeah, they are. They definitely are. You can see this code is old. It's not updated, so it's not using the proper format that we've been adhering to here. Okay. All of a sudden we have to do that. That's fine. There we go. Yep. It's not listening. Probably just needs a couple examples to start acting properly here. Just back a layer here, bring those over here. We need more. We need more stuff. We have that. We need list users, def cognito, list users. This should have region in it here, by the way. Seems like there has to be more than that. How could it search across all of them? Anyway, I think we'd want to have the user pool ID here for this. Okay, so there's that one. There's all this admin stuff. It's not really what we're interested in. I'm kind of wondering about like post hooks and stuff like that. Devices. No. Maybe there's another one here because we have Cognito IDP, but there's identity. No. What I'm looking for is that post confirmation check. Let's go over here and go to Cognito. Get out of here, CLI. This is under app integration. To the client. There's a bunch of stuff in here we kind of expect. Maybe we should be getting the client information. User pool properties. Lambda triggers. So is there anything called triggers here? Get Lambda triggers for Cognito user pools. View the AWS CLI. I wonder if we can do that here. Describe user pool, so that's where it is. We're gonna go back here. I think client we should describe actually now. Client. It's not access we're looking for. What about like list clients? We want this region to be together just to make our lives a bit easier for generation. Some old code, I guess. Listed like that. And bring that down here like that. There we go. Just less problems. To have the hyphen on here, that's not gonna, or the backslash, that's going to cause an issue for us. Yeah, so I think that's what we wanted for that one, so that's good. I don't care about groups. I don't rarely ever use groups, so I'm not really too worried about it. Let's go take a look at code build. Code build. Actually, you know what? We don't have code pipeline in here at all so far. Code build. List projects. List builds. What are reports? That's not very useful. Unless we could get information about a report. Because it depends, like, does a build out a report? And so if we got builds, will we actually know if it failed or not? So if I go list builds here, and we go to examples, yeah, that might not be very useful. What are these generating out? Builds. So you have to go get the build, I think. Or describe, I suppose. Describe. or get. Doesn't show much information there. I wonder if we have a sufficient data for that. Well, we'll have to come back to that. We're not using code commit, but we are using code profile pipeline. So this is something we definitely want to take a look at here. So I'm going to go over here and make a new one. Well, first I'm going to add code pipeline to our list. Code pipeline. Let's see what we have. So, list pipelines for sure. Hopefully that's all there is to it. I'm not sure if we care about the webhooks. Probably want get pipeline for sure. You know, I keep putting this at the end. They don't really actually matter because it's using name parameters, but just for my cleanliness, that's why I've been doing this like this. Okay. This didn't exactly do what I want. That's fine. Put this down on a new line here. Cut that out here. That copied way too much. I just wanted this, that, and then we'll cut that out like that. There we go. List action types. Get pipeline state. I mean, we might want to see jobs that ran. Can we list jobs out here? I mean, we could pull for jobs. We can't list jobs. Returns information about any jobs for code pipeline to act on. Okay, so we're not seeing previous ones. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'd have to go grab data and then find out later on. But right now, that seems okay. So there's that. CloudFront, that's going to be a big one. At least I think it's going to be. Let's go back here because there's just like distributions and all, or sorry, like origins and all sorts of things in there. CloudFront. Notice we haven't touched any IAM yet. I'm not sure what I want to pull from there. Everything's just supposed to have permission, so if this is like a security boot camp, we would be checking for that kind of stuff, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm looking for things like get. So get invalidation, not necessary. Get origin access controls. We didn't use functions. Thought about it. List invalidations is a good one, I think. You can do better than that. Come on. Think harder. Okay, there we go. Don't know why I was having such a hard time there. Yeah, we don't, again, we're not using region, but we're just going to provide it in here. Just so that's a less of a problem. Maybe we can refactor our code so we don't have to do that, but right now, that's what we're doing that. Okay, so we'll do this. This is list invalidations. It's probably all we need for that. Origin access controls is probably something I want to look at here. Is it identities or controls? What's the difference between these two? Doesn't show an example. Trying to see the data here. I don't think it's access controls I want. I think it's access identities, OAIs. So yeah, this one is right, I think. This one would be CloudFront list origin access identities. Now I'm not even sure. We'll go back over here. This one is access identities. I need to see examples. I wonder if these are OAIs. S3 user canonical user ID. Maybe. I'm not sure how useful this is going to be, but I'll put it in anyway. List. So they actually put a space like that for some dumb reason, but seems like it's their own spelling mistake in their own code. Okay, so list distributions, list functions, public keys. Let's go up to the gets. Get cache policy. Don't really care about that. Get CloudFront origin access identity. I mean, we might want those. Did we get distribution yet? I don't know if we did that yet. I think we did. Up there, yes. All right, keep going down the list here. All right, I think that's all I want from this. So we have Cloud Frontier, API Gateway. I'm pretty sure I already looked at. There's always more probably that can be added here. I'm not exactly sure if this is even right. ACM I looked at. There wasn't much to look at for this one. So there's all this stuff. Is there anything that we're forgetting in terms of services that AWS just didn't think about grabbing? It didn't get code pipeline, even though I told it to. So we'll go back to our architecture here. It didn't do anything for ECS or like Service Connect. We could like list out Cloud Map, so making sure that is there. So that might be something we could do there. Let's take a look at Cloud Map. Is there an endpoint for that? AWS Cloud Map via the AWS CLI. Service discovery, okay. Anyway, I'll be back here in just a second, okay? I am back. For you, it might seem like I was gone for a second, but I watched half a documentary on Michael J. Fox, so I don't know. That's what I was doing. Anyway, I'm back here, and we were taking a look here at... and by the way, this entire time, my Gitpod never turned off, so I'm not sure what's going on here. It's supposed to turn off on its own, but maybe they're trying to make a bit of money on me here. Who knows? But we're looking at ACM, and so we can describe the... Is that what we're looking at? ACM, really? I don't think so. We were looking at... I don't remember. Anyway, let's scroll through here and just see if there's anything else that might stand out to us that we might want to take a look at here. We actually never ended up doing SCS with our authentication system. That could have been something else we could have done. But I'm just scrolling through here and seeing if anything stands out at me. Cloud Map, that's what it was. And it was Service Discovery. That was the name of the service that it's using. So I'm going to go over here, and we're going to make a new one here called the servicediscovery.rb. And so we'll go ahead and paste this in here. I'll go all the way down here and paste this in as such. And let's go take a look at service discovery. So namespaces is what we're looking for. So we can go to get namespaces. I mean, that's get a namespace. I want to list the namespaces. I also want to list the services. So go here and just say def. This one is, this is not EC2. This is service discovery. Let's say service discovery. I'm going to go ahead and just grab an example of one so that I don't have to have it figured, like, so it'll start writing the way I want it to write. So we'll go here. I'm going to type in service discovery list. I mean, services is a good one, so we can do that as well. Good, that's one. Another one we need is service discovery list namespaces. There we go. See what else there is. I mean, it could be like get a namespace. I'm not sure how much interesting information we need there because we can't do like a great analysis of that yet. List operations, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think I care about that. So that, I mean, that should be sufficient for that. Keep going through here. I mean, we do use SSM for parameter store. I don't really want to see people's parameters, right? So we do have things like get parameters, but that will actually grab the values. I don't want to actually see them. Unless there's a way to grab them without seeing them, I don't think so. So that's something I don't want to touch. So I'm not trying to get access to that information. We'll just keep scrolling through here, just taking a look here if there's anything else that might interest me. Doesn't look like as many services when you scroll through it like this, eh? Or maybe it is a lot to you. I don't know. For me, it's not a lot. But yeah, there's stuff for IAM that could be done there. But I'm not sure what I want to do there. Right now, I'm not 100% sure. We'd have to design things around that we look in particular. Or you'd have to actually provide the particular IAM roles and stuff like that. And if the stuff is running, then I don't really see a point in doing that unless I'm checking to make sure you're not doing like admin access on stuff. We should go take a look at EC2. That one is kind of a dumping grounds for a lot of stuff. And so if we go here, you can just see there's a lot of stuff in here. So let's see if there's anything of interest that we might be missing. Because we only have like a few things for VPC in here. If we go back over here, VPC, subnets, route tables, internet gateways. We got security groups. We don't list NACLs. We don't fiddle with NACLs in this. Describe instances. No. Launch templates. No, we don't use those. I mean, technically we use NICs, but we don't really need to list out the NICs. Not really any reason to do that right now. We might want to describe a security group. What's the difference? Well, this is a rule, but what would described security groups give us? I mean, that's basically giving us the permissions, right? IP permission, ingress. I'm not sure why we'd want this one here. This one is a little bit cleaner though. Yeah, so it seems like this is all good. But now we need to actually get all these to run. So we'll go back over to our main commands over here because I did just add service discovery there. Okay. And so there's all our fun payloads. And yeah, we do need to have all the policies for that. I guess that will be a second step process. It might not be very smart about generating that stuff out because in some cases you do need extra things than you think you would. But we were asking ChatGPT there, so I'm hoping that it will be smart enough to get us. But the first thing will be just to simply get all this stuff to work. So what we'll do is go back over to our policies over here. No, not policies, to our runner. And in our runner here, we should have, or no, it's up here, sorry. It's up here. These are all the commands that we want to run. So this is for the scope of this project here, and all the stuff that it wants to check against. So we have global ones, and then we have these ones here. So in here, yeah, we set the user region, but we don't necessarily use it, but it has to automatically pass it in because those are global ones. I mean, we could just make conditional code so that we don't have to pass that in for the second part. So in our runner here, where it actually runs it. Where is that? Here. It passes it, but really it should only do that in the case that, so it'd say if attribs user region equals global, then we'll do this. Otherwise, we'll do that, right? So then we can go here, and we'll do this. And then for that, we can do that. So that way, we don't have to pass it in. Okay. Only pass the region if it's not global. That's right. You know, could there have been a better way to expand this? Maybe. But yeah, that's the way we have it. Okay, so what I want to do here is now go back over to this here. And so for our global ones where we don't have it, we can just go ahead and remove those out of there. So we'll go over to our S3 one. And these all don't need regions. Or at least they shouldn't anyway. Let's go down here. Because it's going to complain if we have these in here. So we have to remove it now for sure. But it's more reflective of what it's supposed to be in terms of the endpoint. It's crazy that you know, some companies took a really long time to build their sandboxes. It's really not as hard as you imagine. You just have to have a system in place of how you're going to do it, and make sure that it's scalable. So there we go. So there's that one. I know CloudFront as well won't have the regions or required regions to be specified. So we'll take those out as well. I think it'll be for all of them, but I guess we'll find out. There we go. Okay, so what do we want to do here? We want to go and list all these out. So I'm going to start from the top here. And so we have describe VPCs, describe subnets, describe route tables, describe internet gateways. Bring this over here. I'm just not sure if some of these have fields they need. So we have describe VPC attachments. Paste that in here like this. Describe security groups, which is there. Route tables, which is here. And yeah, that's for EC2. I will just keep going down the list here. Should really start it at the top, to be honest. So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll go to the top here. So this one is describe a certificate. And so this one needs a specific one. So this would be like, okay, get the generic information. And then if we need specific information for specific records, then we would probably have to do that. So we'll go down here and say specific AWS resources. And so we're not going to necessarily code that right this second, but I'm going to just go ahead and start grabbing these so we know which ones need specific ones. Okay. Go back to the top here. And this will be for everywhere. So we'll go here and grab this here like that. We'll go to the next one. Now here's something that's interesting. It's like we are doing say essential 1 for everything, but there was a case where we had to use US East 1. And I don't remember. Now, because we had our assets, I'm just trying to think here. We had our assets in one place. Maybe it's because in CloudFront you have to use US East 1 for CloudFront. That's probably what it was. So, if we do list this out, this is region specific, and that's not going to be very helpful for us because it's going to be everywhere. So I'm going to just be curious here and type in AWS ACM list certificates. Okay, and so I have one here, and this one, does it say what region it's in? US East 1. And then this one is US East 1, yeah. So it's only showing me certificates here in US East 1. Okay, default region. I'm going to switch regions, US or CA Central 1. Okay, and so that gives me certificates, right? So, there are some cases where we do need to get, so this would be like primary region specific commands, alternate region specific commands, region specific commands. And so we'll go down here. And so this will be for, be very similar, but the key difference here will be that this will be for whatever that default region is. So here we have the user region, and we can just override it when we do this merge, eh? Let's go down here and say US East 1. Okay. Okay, and so that's the reason why we're just explaining the logic behind that. So that one will be there. These ones will be regions, primary region specific. Global commands will be down here. Global commands. Where did the I thought we had another one in here. Region specific, that makes sense. Alternate, yep. Oh, down here. Sorry, down here. And actually, we went too far. It should really be here. Okay. And, the thing with this one is that each of these will probably need very specific values from them. And the question is, how will we fetch them? And I don't really want to think about that right now. We'll figure that out as we go through this here. So here we have API Gateway version 2 get authorizers. Again, I'm going to try to expand this so I can see what's going on. And so this one does indeed have a very specific key it needs. So we'll go here, and that will be this again. And then same thing with integrations. Okay. APIs are region specific in the primary region. So we'll go down here. This is the primary region. So we'll go here and just keep putting in order so we can see what's going on. Okay, so that's fine. We'll go to CloudFront now. So CloudFront is here. This is global. So we'll go down to our global commands. And then this one is specific. This one is specific. This one is not. This is a global command. We have CloudFront identity here. This has a specific one, so this is specific. Okay. And we'll move on to code build. Okay, so for code build, we have list projects. This is region specific. Region specific here, yep. The only thing that I'm not sure about is that, some services are not available in certain places. And I don't know if some students are going to run into that issue, right? Like if they deployed, they're like, hey, this isn't available here, so you have to do that there. Would they run into problems? I don't know. But I guess I'll find out when we have boot campers doing this for real. So the same thing with this one. So that goes here. We'll just try to keep putting these in the correct order. So this would be here, up here. Oh, there we go. That was it there. Next to code pipeline list. And then we'll go all the way down here. This is a specific one. Okay. Cognito describe user pools. That's up here. This is region specific. It also requires a user pool ID. User pool ID, okay. And so that's specific. We'll go down here and grab that there. List user pools. That is not region specific. I'll go up here. There's only one alternate, which is fine. Cognito is a C, so this goes right there. This one's specific. There's a lot of specific ones for this one, I think. This one's specific. Now this one, we don't have to make it specific, but I think it's better if we had it to be more specific. So DynamoDB. This one is so we have tricky ones here. DynamoDB list tables. Yeah, these are region specific. So here, oh, sorry, this one is specific. So we'll go down here. I did not want to open there, but maybe it did not save the other one. So do we have any other, this one's specific, so I'll put that here. And then we'll go up to this one here. And this will go right here. We'll go over to EC2. I think we just did all of EC2. Yeah, we did that one already. Go over to ECR. So here, these are region specific, so we'll go down here and paste that in here as such. And these, that's a duplicate. We'll bring that down here. These come before the ELB here. All right, so those are covered. We'll now go on to ECS. So we can describe our clusters. Okay. This is describing specific inputs, so we'll go down to our specific inputs here. This is describing very specific things as well. Same thing here. This one is generic. Okay, so we'll do that. ELB, bunch in here. So describe load balancers, we already have that. Describe listeners, we don't have that yet. This one is generic as well. This one's also generic. I think a lot of these are generic. I'm not sure if that's going to be good or bad, but we'll see as we go here. Same thing here. There we go. We got lambda. This is very function specific. We have our list functions. Our list layers. That is good. Bunch of describes. Nothing of a particular table, so that was fast. Hosted zones. Yeah, we'll do this one here. This one is specific. This one is specific. While I'm here, I just noticed these are an issue. Let's go to S3 API. All the way to the top here. So we have output files. Oh, these are global functions. So we'll go down to our globals. So we do have that one. S3 should come after CloudFront because I'm just doing it alphabetical. We do have this one, which is specific. We have this one, which could be specific. We have this one that can be specific. This one as well. This one as well. This one as well. This one as well. This one. This one. Okay, so these are all specific ones. Then we have service discovery, our last one here, and these are all. Do we need to specify a region for? Oh, well, this one shouldn't be here. This is obviously not there. It's just there to fill it in. But does service discovery really require a region? So say AWS service discovery. That's a hard one to spell. Okay, so yeah, we will have to list those ones out. I'm also just kind of wondering, because there are a few there where we didn't specify the region, and we could have. Oh, I forget which one it was for. The load balancer. So would the load balancer just default to the current region? That's something we'll have to go check because maybe those are region specific. You know, that's something we'll have to consider. So we're gonna go down here, and these ones are region specific. Oh no, we did pass the region. So I wonder which ones it was that we didn't pass the region. We're doing it for lambda. RDS, we're doing that for roughly 3, S3, that makes sense. There must have been one where we didn't specify the region. All right, well, whatever, it looks like it's fine. So I'm gonna go here and we'll just say update the runner to specify all the commands to run. Okay, that's fine. And so, I mean, I'm not expecting this to work, but we'll go ahead and run and see what happens. So bundle exec rake. Well, first of all, have we done a bundle install in a while? Let's do that. I'll go into the examples directory. I'll do a bundle install here. Does this need a, it's .env? Yeah, probably does. .env here. We'll copy this, paste it in here, take those out. And so that should generate what we want. I'm gonna go ahead and hit, we'll run this now. So we'll go here to our rake file. This is bundle exec, bundle exec rake run AWS 2023. And it out. That's fair enough. Be cool to pull all this data though and see how fast it does it. We'll go to the top here. Uninitialized ACM. That's because we did not require them all. I'll go into here. It's in our here. Ruby require relative all files in a directory. I think it's about time we do that. This one's really old. Ruby guides is usually pretty reliable. And that didn't help at all. I can go ahead and grab this one. You know, we can put them explicitly in here. I'm just kind of getting tired of listing them out. I guess we could just write them out. We shouldn't just be so lazy. There are quite a few, though. No, I'm going to just put this in here like this. Let's just take a look here. We have this is a bit hard to read. I'll bring this down until I can read it. This is file.join. I did not know you could do that and pass glob a function here. What we could do is, we'll hold on here. Yeah, that's the join. So this would be the path. And directory. I mean, I guess that's one way you could do it. We're not looking for lib or add-ons. We just want to have this one here. So this is going to be the directory of the current file, which would be here. So it's still the same thing. Okay, great. So that means that we'll have CPBVT. Okay. Payloads. So it really isn't designed, supposed to run on Windows. I really don't care about Windows. Commands. I'm on a Windows machine as I say this. And so this is what we want. File.join. So that was here. Ah, right, yes. So that's one of the parameters. Okay, so then we'll do this. So this would be AWS command path. Like this. We say AWS command path. I'm just going to hope that this works. Okay. Since I can't do this, apparently. I think Ruby would just let you do that. That'd be so nice. Not everything's great in Ruby, but most things are. So I'll just do that, so it's very clear what this is doing. Okay. And hopefully that just works. That'd be nice if it does. And it didn't. Take that one off there. I guess it was just double by accident. There we go. Okay. I mean, the other reason why this might not work is because it's not called ACM. It is. Maybe these should get required before we require the command. Might be a order of things that's the problem here. Or even before the runner. There we go. So now it's a different problem. Now it's just erroring out on syntax errors. So here on line 14, it's complaining because we're missing a comma. We're missing it up here as well. Just those commands there. We'll go back and hit up. Uninitialized constant, CPBVT, payloads, AWS commands. I mean, we need to probably add that to our module definition. So I'll go back over here. Because now this is like this, commands. That actually shows up under where? AWS. So we might have to go here and then do this. Okay, let's try that. Okay, we're getting into better places now. We're starting to see different kinds of errors. I don't mind that. Right there is our problem. Not terrible problems to have. Easy fixes. Unexpected end in this file somewhere. I'm looking for a color coding issue here. I'm not seeing one, but there's a comma, colon there, so I must have just placed it in the wrong spot. It's supposed to come after, not before. There we go. Still this one, line 11. We're still line 6, actually. It's just... other way. Command is missing here, so almost every file has a problem. ECS, hey, at least EC2 is fine. It's line 6. Line 14. Line 46. Line 53. Getting the end on this here. Commands is not a class, so we're starting to get somewhere different. Commands is not a class. Well, it's not, it's a module, but did we write class in there by accident? It's actually both. It's both a module and also a file right there. But it's messing up on the requires here. Now it shouldn't complain about this, but I can put a .rb on here to maybe help it know which one it wants to load. That might fix that issue. Let's go over to this one and see this one here. It's a class, it's right there. Commands is not a class. Yes, it is. What if we load this one prior to this one? I don't think that would work. Yeah. This one's a bit of a headache, eh? I'm just thinking about this here. I mean, there should be some way to do it, because obviously we do it with this up here and they're named the same and we don't have a conflict, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to resolve that conflict. So what I'm going to do here is just say, well, the other problem is that we're defining it twice. So here it's a class, right? And the other place is a module. And so the problem is that we first define it as a module, and then we define it as a class, and then it's running into a conflict. Right? So this has to include these prior to this, and so I guess we'll just have to name this like mods. I don't see another way around this. Modules like that. It's not nice, but it will work us around that problem. And then we can go over to here and have fun renaming all these. All right, so those have all been renamed. Hopefully that's good enough for it. We'll go up here. Uninitialized constant commands modules. Well, I did rename it to that. Let's go back over to our module defs here, commands. So that was singular. I meant to call it just module, but I don't know. I must have put an S somewhere else somewhere. Uninitialized constant. Oof, it must be in here where we name these are commands, modules. Come on, just take it. Okay, now we're starting to get somewhere. So this one's saying code pipeline's not defined. Go take a look at code pipeline. Yep. Code pipeline. Well, it is right here. I mean, I could copy this exactly verbatim and see if that helps. Oh, I got a spelling mistake. There we go. It must be spelt wrong in the other place where it actually gets loaded in here. There we go. Again, you have to spell them correctly or they're not going to work. This one might not have the Ref53 name in it. Oh, it's outputting files now. Cool. Now the question is, like, if it hits an error, is it going to stop the other ones? And we really need to make sure we have good error handling in here. I don't really want people running this like 100 times. Just hanging on user pools for some reason. In this one, I think probably we might have hit rate limiting because you can only make so many API requests so quickly, right? We'll go over here. We'll take a look. Actually, it's not that it didn't work. It's just that there's some kind of problem here. That's interesting. The auto prompt is making it mess up here. So what we'll need to do is I need to go to our git pod YAML, and we need to turn this off. So we'll look this up here. I don't see one for like no. Yeah, like there's no way to say like no, like don't have it on. So I just have to delete that configuration, I guess. It's kind of annoying because it's useful to use, but we can always just use it in our encode shell. So here I'm just gonna unset. There we go. That'll probably fix that. Let me type AWS, see what happens. Good. So that happens there. So let's go ahead and run this again. I thought we hit a timeout. And so it seems like it's proceeding past the ones that it's having issues with. Pretty good. We'll go down here, we'll take a look, refresh. Should have 2 runs in here now. A lot more stuff. That's nice. Lambda list functions. Probably didn't run everything. It probably stopped here at the this one here. We'll go over here. So I'm not sure why it's complaining. This should be region specific. Right there, yeah. So right there, the function's right there. What is it talking about? Undefined method lambda list functions for commands class. Well, it's right here, unless it didn't get included. Maybe we never required it. Maybe that's why. Yeah, that's the reason why. So lambda should appear above RDS. While we are taking a look, let's go take a look at the other ones that failed. Target group ARN is required for ELBV. So go back over here. Target group attributes. Okay, so that is one that needs a specific one. So we'll go here, group ARN. I'm looking for, just close all these, this is annoying. Split this, I want CPBVT 2023. Is this here? No, come on, give me the file I want. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, we still haven't broken these up into their own runners. So this is obviously the AWS 2023 one. Actually, why don't we have it in here? Yeah, it's called validations, that's why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we don't move that there. We'll talk about it in a bit because this should really not have much in this file, but we'll figure that out as we go. So this one was target group attributes, and so this one is specific. We have a lot of specific ones down here. It's looking a bit of a headache, but whatever. So we'll go back up here. We'll save that. We'll run this. I don't know why I ran it because there's other ones that failed. I should have waited. So that's one that messed up. That's max results are required for list user pools. I mean, we should never really get that many, so I'll put that there. Could even put that to 1 if we wanted to. Describe VPC attachments is a problem for EC2. This one says VPC gateway attachments. This one says VPC attachments. That seems like that would be specific too. There's not even one called that, so I'm not sure how we got that. Describe. Let's see, attachments. If that was produced by, that one was produced by ChatGPT. So I think maybe what's happening there is it's creating some phantom code here. I mean, that seemed like something that would be valid because you would technically attach them, but I guess I didn't know there was an endpoint for that or not. So we got that. So we took that one out. Repository name is required for describe images. It's going to be ECR. So here, this is repository name. Okay, that one makes this one specific too. I know I threw this at the bottom. These should go in proper order here. We'll just pull these up. I think we moved that one already, right? No, we did not. I mean, I could have swore that that's what that we should have had those as, but I don't remember it saying required. So maybe the documentation's lying, or I'm missing something. So we have that one there. This one should go. Where is it? Okay. Come down here. This is another one. Output file. Missing keyword for lambda. Supposed to be that. Same thing with here. Same thing with here. These would all fail for that reason. Great. We'll give this another go. Thought we got rid of that. Maybe we didn't remove it from the list. There we go. Try this again. So we did see one error occur there. At least one. So far, so good. uh, yeah, S2 API, that one's kind of annoying. S2. That was frustrating. We were making such good progress there. There's one other one here. DLBV do. So all those ELBV2 ones, I could have swore that you should require those. Maybe it does say in CloudFormation, but not in the CLI. But yeah, this one turned out to be a big old liar to me, this one here. So let's go to the top here first, see if there's any other errors, and I don't see it yet. Here's one. This is for listeners. Describe listeners. And here it's expecting or the load balancer ARN. Okay, so here I'm going to just say load balancer ARN. I'm trying to get all of them right. And we'll do this, say load balancer ARN here. And so in here, describe listeners, we're going to bring that down to here. Describe rules, same thing. Not sure if we want to be doing that there or like pass the listener in, but we'll do this for now. Okay, we'll give this another run. The only disadvantage to this is that these aren't operating in parallel. I'm not sure how well parallel calls would work here, but all right, we'll just carefully see if there was any errors. It's easy to miss them, so. Nope, looks fine this time around. So it looks like that pulled. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that our data is good, because if we mess up the region for any reason, like let's say we forgot one of these backslashes and it didn't specify the region, might not work, or we might not even see the output. So we'll go up here, and it gets a bit messy here. So it's hard to say what was their last run. I actually can't tell based on these. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these out. What might make this a little bit easier is if we actually have a timestamp in front of it. Length, name, limit, object, like file name limits in S3. 63 characters max long. So I guess my question is, like, how long is the UUID? How many characters in a UUID? Well, they're not 128. 36 characters. I just want to see how long this is here. I'm going to copy this. Character count here. We'll go put this in here. 41 characters. Yeah, it's kind of getting long. What if we go ahead and try time.now? I'm just trying to see if I can fit in here a timestamp. IRB. time dot now dot to I. That doesn't look very long. And then if we go ahead here and place that in front, not sure what happened to our counter here. Yeah, so we still have room for that. I think that's what I'm going to do, because if I don't do that, I'm just never going to be able to see what I'm doing. These, that's the UID, and so that gets passed in at the start. So what I'm going to do is go over here to the actual rake file, and it does this, but I'm going to also do this. And that way it's going to then sort it by that and make my life a lot easier. Okay. And we should still be short enough to make AWS happy there. So we'll run that. I'll be back here when this is done, okay? All right, I'll come back over here and refresh their output here. We'll expand this. And so you can see we have our US East 1, our global, our CA Central. There are a lot of files here. Now, are they all here? I'm not sure. We'd have to walk through each one and find out. But what I'm looking for is to see if there's data. So this has data in it. Yep. This has data. I'm just going to close this so I can just walk through this and see what there is, okay? API gateway. So this shows we do have an API endpoint here. API CRUDer, okay. We'll go to code build. These show us builds. Not super useful, but we can see the name of the builds. So I guess that's something. We'll go to the next one. Code build is not very good. Pipelines. Pipelines is not very good. We'll have to use that to extract information out here. Cognito user pools. We can see our post confirmation steps, so that's useful. Table names, we can see that. Streams. This is showing us we have one set up. Internet gateway. Okay. I think I have 6 there. These are route tables, yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's going good so far. DB security groups is empty. That's the only one I'm surprised it's empty. Let's go take a look at the RDS one there. This might be because we don't specify a region. We do, but it shows DB security groups empty. Interesting. Okay, AWS RDS describe DB security groups here. No data. No data. Okay. But it has security groups. I just don't know why that doesn't show up. That might actually not be for this. This might be something else. Let's go take a look at this command. This one actually might be useless to us. Version 2. So this is probably, this might be an older feature. So it is giving us this warning here. Okay, so I don't think that this is useful anymore. We'll get rid of this. And we'll go over to here. Here. Get rid of that. That's just old. And what I'm looking for here is snapshots. So, I mean, you don't have to take snapshots, but like when you shut down your machine, it would make snapshots, and that's how I would know. It's showing the username, so I do get some other additional useful information out of there. Did not know that it would return it there. Subnet groups. Okay. Hosted zones. Not a lot on its own, so we'll have to go digging further for that. Namespaces. Shows we have a namespace called Crutter. Services here, backend Flask. Okay. So yeah, we are getting definitely data back. I think all the files are here. Let's keep going. This one is empty. It's not supposed to be. So it says data in it. Yep. S3 APIs. Shows all of our buckets. We'll go over here. So the only one that's empty is this one. I'm not sure why. Maybe it errored out. So we'll make our way over to cloudfront.rb. We'll take a look at this command here. It does get generated in our manifest file. So if we go over here, we can probably find it over here. I don't know why the benchmark shows identical times here. Maybe we'll go and take a look at that since we've just never gone ahead and updated that. So in our manifest file, maybe because we just referenced the same one by accident here. So start set. It's not really helping too much. We can open up the manifest file. Yeah, this is not going to help much here, right here. So really when it finishes is when it's done. So we have the start set, and when we are done running everything, that's when that should happen. So where we want to do this is the question. It's not going to be like perfectly accurate, but it's going to be good enough because I don't think it's going to take that long to write a file. And so basically when we write just before we write the file, we should do that. And that will actually set the time. So we'll get an accurate reading for that. I want to go back to our manifest file. I want to see where that messed up. Just going to close out some of these here so I can see what I'm doing. And so in here, there's one for CloudFront. CloudFront. This command here. So we can go ahead and grab that and just run it manually and see what happened. It probably errored out. Something that's interesting that I'm seeing here is this. This is clearly a mistake. So our keys aren't generating out exactly how we thought they would. I wonder if that's happening for everything there. So we'll go back down over to, didn't even notice that there. Yeah, I did it up there. So we'll have to go back over to our rake file. Rake file. And this just needs to have that like that. Is this over the limit? Because it says 63 letters is the limit. Nope, it's still short enough. Instead of just doing the output, I just want to see if it'll list anything. It doesn't. It's interesting. Did we specify a region with this? We did up here. Did this one specify region? It's not. But these aren't region specific, are they? No. So we don't get any data for that. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I thought we'd have some OAIs. Maybe we never set up an OAI. The OAIs are so that we don't access the content outside of the outside of CloudFront. At least that's how I remember it. But maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, there's lots to do. There's lots for us to check still, so I'm not like super hung up on it. We need to let's go ahead and save this. So update that. Get. And so what I want to do here is I want to now figure out how to get the other ones. So if we go, let's just close all these. It's getting kind of messy. We'll open up this here. And so we have all these that we want to run. And so these need to grab values from other files. So yeah, we have to parse other files and they're downloaded. And so I'm just trying to think here. If they're downloaded, we should be able to grab data from other ones and parse them. The data is dumped to JSON, so we do write the JSON files right away. The manifest also contains the payloads, and they would actually have that data because it's command and result. But the result isn't actually the JSON data, it's just that data. So we'd have to reload the files for that. Okay. And we need to actually parse the JSON to get the data that we want. So there's that. And also the question is like, what certificate, so let me think about it, okay? You know what, I'm going to stop the video here and then we'll treat the next video as solving this, okay? Ciao.